Okay, where to start? I did see the new documentary, The Dark Side of Power Rangers, and let's talk about it. I got a couple things I want to say about it. I'll just start with the stuff that I do know, stuff that I know personally. A little recap. So my dad used to make Jason David Frank's belts, his black belts, for martial arts school and for him personally. So we were constantly in contact with Jason Frank, from 2002 to till his passing. So I was going through some of my stuff having to do with Jason Frank and Rising Sun Karate, and I found this. This is a picture. This is from the Rising Sun Karate website, and Jason's actually wearing my dad's belt that my dad made for him. And if you look right there, there's a little black patch that has my dad's logo on it. On one side, there's the patch that has the logo, and then on the other side of the belt, it has Jason's name in katakana. And I actually remember when that belt was being made, I was right there. I was helping work on that one. And then Jason signed it, He discussed how Eric Frank, how he took his own life, And for the longest time, I thought that everybody knew that that's how it happened, I thought that was public knowledge, that just one time Jason had mentioned over the phone, he had mentioned how his brother took his own life. And that he was really shook up about it, and he had gone to the funeral and all that stuff, So that's how I found out. That's how I found out that Eric Frank, and this was back in 2002, long before the documentary, and so I just, growing up, I thought that, that was, I thought people knew about that. But now that the documentary came out, I'm seeing a lot of posts online, people going, "Oh my God, I had no idea," that, and so I guess the story was that, the story that the family was telling was that Eric had an allergic reaction to shellfish. But that's not the story I heard. The story I heard was that he took his own life. But I did know for, since 2002. When I watched the documentary, and when it came to, they started talking about Jason David Frank in the weeks and months leading up to his passing, I got really emotional when they were talking about that, because it was like reliving the whole thing over again, and it was emotional, really emotional. My biggest fear about the documentary when I heard about the Dark Side of the Power Rangers thing, I thought that I was so afraid that they were going to paint this really dark picture of Jason, not who he was. But I'm very happy with the creators of this documentary. They did a great job illustrating who he was and what he was dealing with. Like, my biggest fear about the documentary was that they were gonna make it out to where things were darker than they were, But they did a great job of stuck to the facts about the situation. All of it was accurate, totally accurate to what was happening, and that's what made it so emotional, was that it was so accurate, It was tough. It was really tough, and one thing I got out of, watching it, don't ever be afraid to seek help. Like, if you're having mental problems, or any kind of problems at all, don't be afraid to seek help. That was the one thing I got out of it. Was that you never be ashamed to ask for help. And going on that subject, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, somebody's lying, someone's not telling the truth, there was more to it, there's more to the story, yada yada. My opinion on that is, we were not there. Unless you were actually there and witnessed it, I would not make any speculation. I would not make any comments. What happened is between Tammy and Jason. That's it. And so out of privacy for the Frank family, I have massive respect for them, to the point where I don't make those speculations about about what happened. I just accept what I'm hearing. Yes, I do have my questions, but I never accuse anybody of not telling the truth. And because that's just disrespectful. For me, that's disrespectful. That's basically, it was a really good documentary. I'm really impressed with it. I didn't think it was going to be so accurate. The fact that it was so accurate and that it made me emotional, that says something. Just wow. Great job, guys. Great job. They really did the research. And I would highly recommend it. If you have not seen the documentary yet, go and watch it. That's my review of it. So go check it out. The show's called Hollywood Demons. The episode is called The Dark Side of Power Rangers. And it's really great. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.